What's going on, everybody? Yeah, I'm here right now in Oklahoma. We picked this low in Greenville, North Carolina, and we're on our way to Manteca, California, and we got like 25 hours left of driving to do. Uh, about 1,675 miles left, more or less. Uh, you know, it's been an interesting week. I started my week dropping a load in Haines City, Florida. That I brought that load from Milan, Tennessee, and then I ended up picking up a load in Urbandale, Florida, like 15 miles away from Haines City, something like that. Uh, and I took that load to Fayetteville, North Carolina, and from Fayetteville, I went to Greenville uh, to pick this load, but also to put a GPS on the trailer, which Mercer gave me $350 for taking the trailer there. After I picked this load up, the first night I had an airbag leak, so I ended up stopping in a TA. And well, before I got to pick up this load, I had a leak airbag. I stopped on Kenny, North Carolina. Kenny's North Carolina, something like that, in the TA. And for I ended up doing my 10 hours there. Mercer gave me $200 for that, for the downtime. Uh, I went and pick up this load. As soon as I pick up this load, when I was around Columbia, South Carolina, uh, the brake chamber went off on the trailer. So I ended up doing my 10 hours there also. And, Mercer gave me $200 more. So, that bad low out of Florida I took, they paid me 1,000 something, which it wasn't that bad for 569 miles, something like that. Uh, you know, not that head. Uh, it was a heavy load. It was from Coca-Cola. I was delivering some juice, orange juice bottles, and after I fixed the TA fixed the brake chambers. I've been driving. I stayed yesterday in West Memphis, Arkansas. And now we're in the road. I've been driving like 6 hours already. 6 hours, something like that. Yeah, like 6 or 5 hours. Let me see. Uh, about about 5 hours I've been driving so far. I'm right now in Henrietta, Oklahoma, on my way to like I said, Manteca, California. Then after that, I got a load that I'm picking in Lodi, California, which is like 20 miles away also, taking that load to Pittsburgh. Uh, so, things that went wrong, I still end up making money on it. Uh, you know, I made $750 more, 350 for taking the trailer to get a GPS, and then 200 for each night that I took the trailer to the TA, one for the airbags, and then the other night for the brake chamber. So yeah, gonna be a good week revenue. If everything goes well, and I deliver this load, I pick up the other load, and I take it to Pittsburgh. Uh, so yeah, that's the plan, guys. That's the plan, man. Uh, like I said, man, I'm going hard this month because the month December, I'm probably gonna take the whole month off, completely off. I probably work through the 3rd of December. Then after that, I'm gonna take off. Uh, you know, my gross for the year is up there. It's already over 200,000. Obviously, that's the gross. That's not what I take into the bank. You know, uh, but it's still a good year. Like I say, out of that year, so far the year's not over, and all included. All included. I probably took this year, including December, around easily 2 months off. So 10 months of working. Like I said, taking 3 days here, 1 week there, 4 days. The whole month of December. So it's potential here at Mercer to make money. If you drive, if you hustle, and you stay out here, man, you can make the money. I got a few guys that kept asking me about SFI truck. If they bring it here uh, to Mercer, if they could make money. I'll be honest, man. If you haven't got the SFI truck and you got like $5,000 down, you had in your account for a while, you could go to Lone Mountain or International Used Trucks, Arrowhead Sales, MHC Truck Sales. You know, you could get a used truck, but I mean, if that's the route you gotta take a SFI truck. Uh, I would recommend you, man. If you're taking an SFI truck, don't get a brand new truck, man. Because let's be honest, you're probably not gonna pay that truck off, right? So you want a truck. They're gonna get you to point A and point B, and then your payment be low for the week. Don't be that high. Because those SFI brand new trucks, they're over $1,000 a week. Uh, yeah, I believe I mean, if you make at least $3,000 to the bank every week, you should be able to pay the SFI truck with no problem. But like I say, if you got the money, I advise you to don't go that route. But that's the route you gotta go. I understand, man. I don't see why nobody from SFI here at Mercer uh, should be behind in payments, man. Because here, if you work, you know, you're gonna make money, man, and you should be able to pay your truck with no problem. Unless you take a week off, and then But if you're taking a week off, man, just plan accordingly. Go hard a few weeks. Make sure you got two payments. And you bank. Uh, you know, I saw. I'm not gonna say the name. I saw a guy that got a video. They see a Mercer saying that he's behind on payments. And I believe he live in the truck. I mean, honestly, I don't see how. Unless he took a month off or 2 weeks off. But if you're driving here at Mercer and you discipline, and you work hard, you deliver the loads on time, you establish relationship with agents. I honestly can't see why you're gonna be behind on payments. Like I say, everybody's situation is different. I don't know what people got, all the bills in the side or whatever. But if you live in a truck, man, I don't see why you should be behind working at Mercer. I mean, I honestly don't. But like I said, everything's possible. It could be something, family emergency, anything else that the person might have, and But they asked me, they wrote me an email. I read it this morning about a guy. I don't want to mention his name. They got a channel way bigger than mine. They said, man, this guy's saying that he's behind in payments with the SFI truck. And I say, I don't know his situation. You know what I mean? I don't know. But the guy in the email wrote me, supposedly the guy live in the truck. So if you live in the truck, man, you don't got no mortgage payment or no rent payment. I truly can't see how you're gonna be behind on payments on Mercer. I honestly, unless you got a medical situation or you took a few weeks off or I mean, we don't know the situation. I just going by the email of what the guy wrote me about because he planning to give a SFI truck and he want to come here to Mercer. And like I said, I don't know the guy's situation. Everybody's different. Everybody run the business the way they want. I'm not nobody to tell or judge anybody. You know what I mean? But on my opinion, if you work here at Mercer and you stay moving, you know, you should have enough money every week to pay your truck. Unless you get sick and you be out for 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Uh, but if my advice to any guy that planning to come here with an SFI truck will be, make sure you build savings, man. That's important because let's say a situation might come up where you have to be off the truck for a few weeks, right? Maybe 3 weeks. You want to have a cushion where you can make your payments, for your truck, or anything that could happen. I know those trucks they got warranty. Obviously, they don't gonna cover the tires, the regular wear and tear. They're not gonna cover that, but any major components they're gonna cover. The motor, transmission. So like I say, do I believe anybody with SFI truck here could make it, Mercer? Definitely, I truly believe that. I'll be honest. I definitely believe it. Like I say, especially the guy that wrote me the email, he asked me about that. He said, "Man, I watched this guy yesterday, or he wrote me the email today or the day before yesterday." Uh, well, when I wake up, I read the email, so he wrote it yesterday. And this guy said he behind on payments with the SFI truck at Mercer. And I said, I was gonna watch the video. I think I watched part of it this morning, but I put something else. I was listening to Joel Austin, message, and but like I said, I'm not here to judge nobody. I don't know his situation. Other than if you come here to Mercer, my advice will be to make sure you got a cushion. The first few weeks, I believe even SFI give you like 2 or 3 weeks or the first month no payments. So you should use that time to build to save money, man. If you, I mean, the way this guy wrote me, this guy been living in the truck like for a year and change. If you live in a truck, man, and you are owner operator, I can't see how you don't got no savings on your bank. I mean, unless you're doing some crazy spending. I don't know, man. I mean, business wise, I'm a businessman. I can't see how if you don't got no mortgage or nothing, and you live in a truck over a year, how are you gonna be broke or less? That person had a major mechanical breakdown. But then if they got a SFI truck, uh, all the major components, all the costly labor, gonna be covered in a warranty. That's my belief. That's my understanding. I could be wrong. I'm not too sure about that, but that's my understanding, right? But like I say, guys, do I think with a SFI truck you will make a Mercer? Definitely. Uh, you know, I'm pretty sure it's a pressure. Uh, any payment weekly it's a pressure. But I truly believe with one load you could make the payment a week. It's all how you run. If you're a person that only running a few loads a week, and you're putting yourself in bad situations, uh, then that's on you. And my belief it is you're not gonna make it anywhere. I'll be honest. Uh, but let's say like if you live in a truck and you don't got no payments out there, unless you got medical bills or you're paying things that you got to pay, major bills. Uh, I honestly, truly believe you shouldn't have no problem to pay a SFI truck a Mercer. That's just my opinion based on what I do. And I don't got a SFI truck. I got a monthly payment on my truck. Uh, but I know why you can make here a Mercer as an owner operator, and I truly believe that you shouldn't have no problem. You know, you shouldn't have no problem paying your truck and making money. Like I say, obviously, paying a weekly payment a truck. Say you make $4,000, or 3,500. You got to pay $1,000 or 1,200. You're gonna bring it down because you got the expensive, right? That's after fuel and everything. Let's say you made 3,500 for your truck. For you already taking all the deductions, everything, a week or $3,000. Which should be easy to make here. I mean, if you know the lanes and you pick good loads, and you concentrate on the growth, weekly growth that you're gonna make, right? Uh, and you're not that picky with loads. I think you should definitely don't have any problems at all here at Mercer. That's my belief. Like and subscribe. Um, any question, Green Star Logistic LLC at gmail.com. And man, like I say, if that's what you want to do it. Believe in yourself, man. Just be disciplined. Uh, Make sure you build a cushion. Save some money. The first few weeks. Don't go crazy spending money, man. And you know, buy food, man, that you could make in the truck. Stay out of the restaurants, out of the truck stop eating. And saving money, man. Sure, you go with treat yourself, to a good restaurant. Sure, why not? Uh, but sometimes you eat better out of the truck, man. Like me, I got an air fryer, I got an electric pot, I got a rice cooker, uh, got a microwave, I got a decent size refrigerator. And I buy things. I'm in a truck stop. I order from Walmart, and they bring me the groceries, and I cook myself, man. That's the best way of saving money, man. Because if you stay eating a truck stop, buying junk food, a candy bar costs you like $3 nowadays. you keep buying junk food and buying food out of the truck stops, each time you gotta eat, you're gonna be spending a lot of money. That's just my opinion. But anyways, guys, like and subscribe, man. I appreciate everybody. Stay blessed. Saturday. God bless everybody, man, and stay positive out there, man. Like I say, you want to come to Mercer, you got questions, Green Star Logistic LLC at gmail.com. And, I truly believe you can make it here, man. Like I say, if you're willing to run, you're going to run one low a week, you're not going to make it anywhere. That's the truth. But anyways, guys, God bless everybody. Have a blessed week.